This is the residents of MacSharry Park Sligo out in protest, joining people all over the world in January the 25th, 2020. They are protesting because a big mast has gone up on their doorstep. They are now exposed to much higher levels of radiation than they would ever choose or than is ever safe. Prevention is better than the cure. Stop 5G until we know more. 8 county councils have voted to stop 5G until we know more in this country of Ireland. County councils all over the world are voting the same, but what's happened? 5G is still being rolled out. So local democracy. As it stands, at least 14 international laws and agreements have been broken to roll out 5G. Our constitution is in what paper is written on at this rate. Personal rights. So guys, wake up. Here's a measurement I took across the road from where the people are standing. It's at hitting 5,000 microwatts per meter squared. As I've said, 3 would be sperm damage. 30 are into behavioural problems with kids. 2,000 leukemia in kids, you know. Now this is sort of hitting 5,000. You're going to see that your phone, your Wi-Fi router, are actually giving you more radiation than this. We're just looking at the masts here. But the devices in your home are now extremely high, and you are not being informed about that. So that's why I'm here. There are the houses where I took the measurement, just across the road from MacSharry. And this photo says it all. This is a young child looking at this 5G. Know the risks. Nobody's telling her the risks. She's going to get so much exposure because they're trying to develop an Internet of Things where everything is connected and radiating to the mast. Every single thing, from a pill bottle to a plant watering can, is what the chairman of the FCC called it. The Internet of Things means hundreds of billions of microchips being produced and slapped onto every single item. The milk bottle in your fridge is going to radiate out a signal to tell you that it's getting empty, it needs to be replaced. It may even order it at the shop for you. But at what cost, you know? At what cost? Children are the ones that are supposed to be protected. They're going to get a longer lifetime exposure to this radiation. Their bodies, being smaller, can tolerate it even less than adults, and adults are not doing well on it at all, whatsoever. Oh, listen to this girl, okay? Listen to her. Precautionary principle. That's supposed to be what's in play. So this is MacSharry Park, and just walking along here is the 25th of January global protest. Lisa has crowd down at MacSharry. Great job. We're looking, here's the residential area. There's actually 2 masts. See the one ahead? And one just a few feet away there, and the readings actually are pretty high. Top left peak is hitting 6,000 microwatts per meter squared. See, it's a constant 3, 4, 5, and we're just heading up to the houses now. You can see 8, oh gosh, 8,000 government offices, Sligo. $5,000. So here I am in just off MacSharry Park, the housing estates here, Cranmore Place, all the way down from MacSharry. 5,000–6,000 microwatts per meter squared. So little kiddies out here playing, they're bathed in that. 1,000 extreme concern according to building biologists. 1,000.
Some heavyweight doctors in this industry, Professor Belpone, you'll see the name at the bottom, Professor Hardell, Professor Belyev, Dr. Bergio and Dr. David Carpenter, who was the lead editor of this amazing document. They, in July last year, published a paper really advocating to governments and to authorities to start taking note of the public health issues related to the promiscuous use of electromagnetic radiation. And they said that unfortunately standards set by most national and international bodies are not protective to human health. Isn't that incredible? The very bodies that are supposed to be protecting us are actually not protecting us. I personally, having seen hundreds and hundreds of patients, I do not at all feel safe under the current standard, because my patients are getting sick under the current standard. So that is not a protective standard. And they go on to say the greater the penetration of radio frequency relative to the head-to-head size, the greater the longer lifetime exposure of our children. We have to start remembering that our children are the most vulnerable. They will have the longest exposure to radio frequency than all of us, because with us it's just sort of come on in the last 5, 10, 15 years. But with children, it's from the moment they're in utero right through to death. Now, Ray and I were involved in a situation, a desperate situation. You want to cry when you hear this. A lady who was carrying twins, had her mobile on her belly, and the twins were born with brain cancer. And one of them has died and the other one's in chemo at the moment. Now, if the standard was so protected, why isn't it telling us that women should never have mobile phones on their bellies or anywhere near them? And so these are the things that worry me about the standard. There is no qualification. As long as radiation is under the standard, you're classified as do whatever you want, sleep in front of towers, it doesn't matter. See? We're not being guided by the very authority that should be guiding us. And that's why I'm on the I'm on the cold front. I'm actually on the radiation front, working with people who are suffering day in and day out as a result of exposure within the standard. And that saddens me desperately, because we need better controls.